You're listening to
Wrestling to the Max.
Alert. Clear wrong channel.
This is an exclusive.
How you like that?
And your hosts, Gary Vaughn, Sean Garmer, and Paul Leeser.
King of Sport. New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Hello and welcome to the 24th Wrestling to the Max Extra, and I'm your host Sean Garmer, and today we are talking all about the New Japan New Beginning in Niigata 2016, and joining me today is Mr. Tom Reese. How are you doing?
Pretty good, Sean, pretty good.
Well, since you weren't here with us on the regular episode to talk about the Osaka show, how did you think that went? I mean, I know the main event wasn't like universally loved, but there was a few good things about it.
Well, you know, the main event was, you really didn't think Goto had a chance. Nobody did. Even though, before the match, I said to myself, I'm like, what if they just put the belt on Goto just to finally try and make him? But I'll tell you what, when Okada would come to the ring, the way the camera would focus on him and that crowd, I was like, there's no way. Okada's the man now. He's the ace. You could just see it. You could feel it. And I felt bad for Goto because I don't know what you do with the guy. You know, it's just, he's not going to win the big one. But other than that, that Ishii and Shibata match, Jesus, that was a spectacle.
Oh, I thought that was just as good as the Wrestle Kingdom match.
And you know what was great about it? Just like in Wrestle Kingdom, like they started off hitting hard. Like they had a level. They started off hitting hard, and then as it went on, they just started hitting harder and harder and harder until the very end where they thankfully only did like one or two headbutts, but where they were slapping each other in the face so hard, and then went to the finish with the penalty kick and all. It was just like, it just built all the way up to the point where you can't hit each other any harder. And then they went right to the finish. It was quite good, actually.
Yeah, I loved it. I like the fact that they had some wrestling in there too. You know, they wasn't just them just let's see how much we can kick the crap out of each other and all that too. Like the one at Wrestle Kingdom had a little bit more of that. I like the way that they kind of mixed it in this one.
Well, like you said, they built, and then it was like I was saying, like they really started like the hard stuff right at the end, or the super hard stuff anyway, right toward the end. I was building, but before that, yeah, you're right. It was a really nice build, and I love the opener on that show too with White and Finlay. I love that match.
Oh, they're so good, just so good.
Yeah, the finish where the cannonball into the corner and then catching them and going into the half crab and the lion tamer and all that was really nice. That was sweet.
I like the fact that they're kind of different. You know, Finlay seems to be going kind of more like a submission based, and White obviously is kind of doing the sort of baby face role where he's kind of trying to get everybody behind him. You know, he's got some of the high spots, you know, so I like how they're different.
He's really like, he's almost like he's like a little bit ahead of Finlay because he's been there longer, so he's breaking out more of the, like I said, the high stuff and, you know, getting the interactions with the crowd going.
I mean, Finley has a lot of stuff from his dad, the stiff elbows and all that stuff, so that kind of puts him in a different spotlight too, which makes it fun.
That's good. Yeah, but it makes it fun because they're both different.
Did you like the? I know a lot of people are still complaining about the junior titles switching around and stuff, the tag titles, but I kind of like Ricochet and Seidel as the champs.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those multi-team junior tag matches so much because we've seen it so many times. But this was good. This was really good. I mean, that may have been maybe one of the better multi-team matches that New Japan's ever had, I think. With Ricochet and Seidel are just on another level, and I thought it was spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was probably the second best match on the show after Shibata and Ishii. Just really great stuff, and like you said, I mean, Ricochet and Seidel just on this crazy level, especially like Ricochet. I mean, it kind of seems like New Japan's kind of putting some stock behind him again after, even though I am kind of worried that, maybe WWE's talking to him or whatever. I don't want to see New Japan get burned by him twice, but you think he'll kind of stick around this time?
The question is, what's his Lucha Underground contract, though?
Well, he can work outside of the United States, but apparently, there's something that I don't want to spoil, but there's apparently something that happens towards the end of the Ultima Lucha that makes people think that maybe something. I think it's just a tease, but yeah.
Well, I don't know. I would put stock in that because the fact they put the belt on him means that they must think that he's sticking around.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, but the thing with those junior tag titles, they'll put up the belt on you for a month, and the next month somebody else will have it, and whatever. But
I'm hoping they change that this time and just let these guys have a little bit of a run, maybe build up some steam behind it. But my guess is that Red Dragon is going to be the team to beat them.
I would think so too.
Sooner or later.
They still haven't had him lose in a tag match, straight-on tag match, Red Dragon. So, obviously they have a lot of stock in them too.
Well, that thing can really build that up because, Ricochet and Seidel being they're kind of looked at as being up there. And you put them against Red Dragon, straight head-on match without the Bucks, without all the other stuff. I'd take a chance to main event Corrigan with that match.
Oh, that would be spectacular. I'd love to see it. I kind of, we talked about, Paul and I talked about the idea of, they have, obviously, it seems like they kind of are trying to hold it together with what they decided to do in the Niigata show, but at least for the tag ranks, I kind of think, you might as well just unify both the titles and have all the teams together. I mean, I don't, in a tag situation, it's a little bit different than in a single situation where you can, I know they kind of like to keep the divisions separate, but you can kind of take that away, and the smaller guys can kind of be with the bigger guys because you can have two guys on one.
Well, you know what? That's not a bad idea because with Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows gone now, if you combine the tag, because Ricochet and Seidel can work with anybody, big or small, and so can Red Dragon. So if you take the guys like the Hamna, the Makabe, and move them into the IC titles and the Never titles, we're the big guys, that's a good idea with the tag straps. There's a whole lot of possibilities,
Well, even then, what we saw with the first match on the Niigata show, I thought it was really fun. You got Young Bucks and Cody Hall, and you got Tiger and Liger and Captain New Japan, and those. It seems, I don't know if it means anything for the Young Bucks that maybe they're going to have them kind of go up the ranks a bit, but seeing them kind of work with those guys, obviously two of them are historically juniors, but they're kind of more they're older and sort of bigger. Do you think you could see maybe Young Bucks move up or something to kind of help with the Omega, with what they did with Omega and everything?
I think it's a good idea that you guys brought up because it'll be tag. It's not like it's singles one-on-one. It's not like you're gonna have Matt Jackson against Okada or something. So if you do it in tag, that's a great idea, I think, and it eliminates some of the cluster.
Yeah, because I mean, right now you've got you got the 2 third-generation teams, and then you got whatever Tonga and that other, whoever the new Bullet Club guy is going to be, which apparently a lot of people are saying it might be Sami Callihan for some reason. And then that's it. Like,
Are we looking at a break in the Bullet Club now and having 2 different factions? Was Elite and then Bullet Club being totally different now, or?
I know, I wonder about that.
Yeah. That's the impression I got. So I think, like you were just saying, Young Bucks moving up with Omega, I think they're going to be pushed more to main eventers where Tonga and the rest of them are just going to be like, where they've been.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting.
I think at the end of the Bullet Club, I really do. I think at the end of the Bullet Club, because WWE is going to be doing the Baylor Club sooner or what, they already have the shirts, so.
Yeah, I mean, they could keep it going. It's just, it kind of seems like they kept Cody Hall with them. I mean, Omega was talking to Yujiro or whatever, but it seems like you could have those 3 guys, Tonga, Fale, Yujiro, whoever gets added, and maybe another. I don't know if they'd have Haku show up anymore or whatever. And there's your Bullet Club or whatever's left of it, and then you have, like you said, the Elite with Omega and the Young Bucks, and then Hall.
Well, plus the fact it's also an opportunity for Tonga to be a leader and maybe get a bigger role. And then with Elite, Omega is basically taking AJ Styles' spot in Ring of Honor, so he'll be wrestling over here sometimes with the Bucks, so they can still be making money selling the shirts.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and you saw the Bucks with those Elite shirts everywhere, so.
Yeah, so I think I think it's like, the Bullet Club kind of like run its course, and now they're just create something else for the merchandise.
And that's smart, though. You try to kind of be ahead of the curve and be like, okay, you guys are going to kind of take this, well, we're going to make something new and try to profit off of that. We'll have to see.
I like the idea of just, Omega and the Bucks, just keep it that. Don't bring in 50 guys, just keep it as a core group.
Yeah, just those 4, and you let Cody Hall kind of grow a little bit too. You move him in. And I thought he looked good in that match too. It finally felt like Cody Hall is not just the young guy that comes in and does a couple things and whatever. I mean, he was involved in the finish, and obviously he knows how to do the lariats, but he seemed a lot more involved in this one. Him and Captain New Japan did a lot in that match, more than they usually do.
That match was like way better than you would think because of Cody Hall and Captain New Japan. You're like, whatever. But no, it was, and it's funny you bring it up to Hall because I was thinking that to myself. I was like, there was a point last year where just the sight of Cody Hall annoyed me. Mm-hmm. But he's really grown into the role. He's starting to find it now. He's starting to figure it out, and he's starting to, come up with his own stuff. Remember in the beginning, it was always, he's doing the Razor's Edge and he's doing the Ramon stuff, and it's like, no, now he's Cody Hall, and he's actually figuring it out. He's a big athletic kid. He's getting better.
Oh yeah, I kind of see what everybody's saying, and we've kind of talked about it too. That he's kind of just biding his time till whenever Triple H brings him into NXT. I'm sure, but he can only just get better and better. And then when he comes in there, he can be somebody they can mold however they want, and he's already got a lot of experience instead of just bringing him in now, and you basically got this unknown guy. So there's a chance Cody Hall could be someone.
Yeah, I think next year, another year of working in Japan, I think next year he'll probably be brought in.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. But moving on, they had a really... I love this match. I thought it was really fun just from a perspective of... I really want to see Kyle O'Reilly against Sakuraba now. Had him...
I was waiting for that.
He beats beats Geto, and then he's just sitting there wrestling with Sakuraba. I'm like, can we just have that match?
Yeah, because Geto does his comedy heel southern stuff, and then, which I love, by the way. But I was waiting for Sakuraba to get tagged in against either of them, really. Well, mainly O'Reilly.
I mean,
that was fun. The mat work.
They did a nice tease there. Certainly, you'd hope that there's more to that. But obviously, it seems like just from last year's Super Juniors, they have a lot of stake in O'Reilly. They really like him. So I would think that they're not doing all this just for, shits and giggles. There's going to be something coming to that. And the 4-person sleeper hold spot was great, too.
Yeah. Yeah, with O'Reilly, now that, they know he's sticking around for a while, they can get behind him. And Fish just benefits, basically.
Yeah, I
won't take him along for the ride, but, yeah, he's riding that coattail. I don't mean that in a bad way. Just, without O'Reilly, there's no Fish.
And I think Fish kind of knows that. He's probably...
Exactly. And he does his part. He definitely no slack by any stretching imagination, but O'Reilly's just a can't-miss talent.
Oh, yeah, and then, O'Reilly's younger, and you can do a lot more with him, whereas, Fish is on the older side. You got to think about how much his shelf life is, so it's not anything against either one of them.
Right. That was definitely a fun match.
So hold on, why do I not have the card in front of me for some reason?
I think the next match would be tag match with Kojima, Tenzan.
Oh, yes, the 8-man with...
Right.
Which I like that match from Osaka, too. The Nakanishi and Niigata against Tenkoji.
And there's again, they got the combined age of 1,000 here, but these guys know how to work. And the one thing about it, I love that I harp on New Japan all the time over WWE, but this is one thing I love. In New Japan, nobody does what they can't do. They only work with whatever they can do. You know what Nakanishi can do, you know what Tenzan can do, and they don't do anything more. Come in with the hard chops, this, that, and the other, get out. Let the guy come in. They're in there for, 2 minutes at a peak, and then they get out, and the younger guys come in, do their thing, and Niigata, that guy never ages, but I like that match. It was really good.
Oh, yeah, and it was just like them getting to prove they can still go out there and do it. And Kojima and Nagata, obviously the two veterans who still know how to go out there and do what they do. And Tenzan and Nakanishi, obviously a little bit limited at this point, but they can still bring it. I still had fun watching them do the chop battle and all that kind of stuff.
What a fun match for a third match on the card. It was a fun match.
And then you bring in, Ricochet and Seidel with this one, and you put Finley and Taguchi, who just I don't, man. I'm kind of like you, the way you were with Hall. Like when Taguchi would come out last year, I just was like, oh, here we go, the guy with the ass offense or whatever. But like now he's kind of just embraced it, and he kind of gets even crazier with it sometimes, and it's just like it's really grown on me now. I can totally accept the Taguchi comedy thing.
He built his match around that. Nakanishi built his thing around the hard chops, and Nagata and Kojima can still go, and they can do anything. And then you bring in a young guy, Finley. That's what I mean. It's like, nobody does what they can't do. You're not going to have Ricochet working high spots with Nakanishi, they're just going to have Nakanishi chop Tenton or something like that. That's why that match worked. And then at the very end, you saw Finley and Ricochet really tear it up for like 2 minutes there.
Oh yeah, and that was nice. They kind of just ended, but it was still a nice little like way to end the thing with Ricochet and Finley, and they got the history going back to, I think they had that tag match from the Road 2 show with Jay, where that was pretty awesome too. So maybe that's a thing. Going
Going
there.
back, yeah, going back to that Osaka show real quick, and that tag match where they won the belts. How cool would the finish would have been if they would have used that double shooting star press on both bodies, each of them? Remember when they had like all four guys laid out and they were going to go for the double shooting star press, but somehow or other got broken up? That would have been the best finish.
Oh, I love that finish. They wound up doing it on one guy, and
well, remember they were both going to do it on two guys, but then they just wound up doing it on one guy at the end.
Missed opportunity to have a big highlight, but
yeah,
just it would have been awesome to see, like you said, but Los Ingobernables keep doing their thing, winning, of course. Jay White and Michael Elgin, and this stuff with Naito and the commentary team. I mean,
Nogami, yeah, it's just great. It's funny. Well, actually, today with Milano.
Yeah, Milano was just like, okay, with stuff's not going to move along unless I come over here and do the fist bump with him. So, I'm just going to do it so we can get on with it.
That's basically what it was too. You could almost tell it's like, all right, let me just go take care of this so it gets out of our face, and
Yeah, so we don't have.
Cool. But then at the end, you wouldn't fist bump him though, because it's like you knock down the referee. I'm not fist bumping you. But,
right. He's still on the side of good. He doesn't want to go too far on that. But I mean, I like this match better than the one from the Osaka show. Elgin's he's so good. He fits like a glove here, and then the thing I love about him is he keeps adding stuff to his moveset. He doesn't just stick with, okay, I got my stuff, I'm going to keep doing it. He does some of that, but he changes it up, and he obviously enjoys being there. Just hope that, New Japan really sees him going somewhere.
And I think he really, more than anything, enjoys performing in front of a crowd that gets behind him. That Japan crowd, they've really got behind this guy, and you can see he just pumps them up. I think that's why he keeps adding and he keeps trying new things, and he wants to keep getting better, and could the crowd he comes back here, it's like the crowd still hasn't gotten behind him here, but he goes there, and it's like a different world for him.
You think they'll sign him eventually? Because they still see him as an ROH guy, even though he's still working without a contract over there. You think that's kind of a stigma on him, or they'll finally just say, okay, here, we'll bring you in and you'll be a full-time New Japan?
I think in 2016 it's definitely a stigma, only because of what went down with Nakamura and AJ Styles. It's like a reality of the business now. You have to, especially for New Japan, because Gato freaking, supposedly he had that Osaka main event booked when he put the G1 together last year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's because he had Goto in the G1 pin Okada in the main event of that Osaka show.
Right.
So from there, Goto was always winning at the Tokyo Dome against Naito to go back to Osaka in New Beginning against Okada in the main event. So that's how far this guy. I can only imagine what Gato was thinking when he had to reshuffle practically the whole year. So yeah, I think if you're going to be in like the main picture, you gotta sign a contract. And if you're eligible, I would just sign a 1-year deal, and then or a 2-year deal, and then when it's up, WWE will always be there. If they want you, they're gonna want you. If they're not, don't waste time. Just sign a contract, make the money.
Yeah, and I mean, and he's only going to get wanted by WWE probably if they see him do stuff in New Japan because, yeah, they wanted Lethal, and I'm sure they want Cole and stuff like that, but it seems like they weren't going to offer Lethal this big contract either, but if he goes and shines in a big place, obviously like AJ did, they can see that and go, okay, let's try to get this guy in here. I mean, if you're Elgin, maybe he can work out something with ROH where he doesn't have to work so many dates, and he'll do most of his dates with New Japan or something. I don't know. That's obviously something they'd have to work out, but I'd hate to see him not be able to kind of get something going, go for the Never title or go for the IC title, and because man, him having matches with Ishii or Shibata would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I at least get him up in the IC title ring matches. You just need a new body there, and he's perfect for that.
Yeah, and even if it's just him and Omega, that would be good because Elgin has the crowd behind him, so it helps out in that respect too. So we have a rematch of the same match from Osaka with the Fale, Tonga, and Yujiro against the Briscoes and Yano.
And boy, was it a lot better.
Yeah, it was a lot better. They came out on fire, which is much better than the way they have been. Mark just really seems like he likes being there.
He was all over the place in that match. I mean, he was moving. But then the match was, I don't know what it was about that match Thursday, but it just did not register with me at all. But today's match was a lot of fun. I think it's because, like you said, Mark, and even Jay, they came out and everybody was just ball to the wall right from the get-go, and then once the match kind of slowed down into the ring, or basically built around the Yano low, the low blow spot.
Yeah,
teasing back and forth on that.
And I mean, the one on Thursday was really more about like the Bullet Club trying to show that they've kind of figured out Yano. So it was really slow, and it was heel dominated and whatever. And then this one, Jay and Mark kind of came out on fire because they want those titles back, and then Yano had to keep one-upping Tonga, and it made it really fun at the end when Yano gets the win. So
anytime Yano gets a win doing Yano shenanigans, it's a good time.
How do you feel about these belts? I mean, like, there's people that obviously are trying to take them seriously, and they're upset the fact that they're already bouncing them around. And then, my thought of it is that they're just kind of belts that they have that are going to be defended on like every show, and they're going to do whatever they want with them. It's not a big deal.
The obvious question is why they have the belts, and it's bad enough that they're already bouncing around a junior tag draft. Now they're going to bounce this around. And nothing against Bullet Club, but this Bullet Club as it is now, with, Tonga, Fale, Yujiro, it just reeks of mid-card at best, so it's basically it's a mid-card title.
Right.
So maybe this will be the title that main event the Cork and Hall shows or something.
That's what it seems like. But, if you look at it on the other side, too, you have so many of these six-man matches on these shows, especially on the house shows that you show on New Japan World or whatever. It's like, if you kind of bring some prestige to them or whatever, you can make these six-man matches mean a little bit more, because whoever gets the pin, they might be the ones that are next in line to be the ones going against whoever the champions are, instead of just making them this whatever thing that they are.
Well, as it goes along, it's probably going to be held by teams that aren't really teams, so to speak, or just teams put together for a tour on house shows and stuff. Because how often are Briscoes going to be there? Don't say it's like, you put like a Tanahashi, Elgin, and, just throw out a name, Juice Robinson or something, something like that. So that's what I got a feeling they're going to kind of settle down into.
I would imagine, yeah, you're right. I mean, they'll put it on somebody that's always going to be around, and whatever. Like, I'm sure the Briscoes will lose them by the time Saturday rolls around, and then whoever's supposed to have them will have them for a bit until the next, I guess the New Japan, whenever the Road 2s for the New Japan Cup start, and they'll keep switching it around that way.
Is there a six-man title match on the shows this weekend?
Yes, it's the Young Bucks. It's the Young Bucks and Omega against
That's
Briscoes,
right, yeah.
and that should be awesome.
I would not be surprised to see a title change there, just to kind of let the elite group have a bunch of belts to carry around.
I wouldn't be surprised either, and just because, again, like the Briscoes they're not coming back probably for a while. They're not going to have them hold them until whenever the ROH anniversary shows are, which I know they're like a week later, but probably won't do that. Plus, I mean, Omega will be there, and it'll help them kind of have different things to do on those house shows too. So, this IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match, though, oh, so good.
I love this match. Oh my God, this match was awesome, and it just the way this built right up to the finish was just absolutely incredible. You knew Bushi was going to win that match, and they threw everything at Kushida, and he just made like the ultimate babyface comeback. He was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that they have, Naito and Evil show up pretty quick, and then Evil just keeps getting involved, Naito keeps getting involved, and just keep putting odds in front of Kushida, and he gets missed. Where he goes over the referee and miss him, I was like, wow, that's insane. That was awesome. And then Kushida he kicks out anyway, kicks out of the code breaker off the top rope, so good. And then Taguchi comes out again to freaking save him. I think this is one of those.
And the young boys got in, because Naito's always beating on the young boys, and they got a couple licks in there. That was so cool.
Yeah, and I love the way they did it, where it's not. This is one of those times where you're going to complain about interference, but the interference kind of told the story.
Exactly, it kind of came full circle, and you could appreciate it. It was just done. It was just so well executed. And Kushida, oh my God, that guy. I love Bushi too. I said it after the third match. I really think Bushi's going to become a star. And he's so innovative when he gets those missed spots too.
Yeah, he really is just really good. I mean, he is. I mean, everybody
If
kept
he
saying,
stays healthy, yeah. If he stays healthy, he has something.
I mean, those two could go for a while if they want them to. I don't know if they're gonna put Kushida with somebody else now or what they're gonna do, but just that was just so good. And then it was just so well done with like Taguchi taking out Evil, and then Naito's on the ring apron, and right before he locks in the hoverboard, he knocks Naito off just to kind of be like,
They kind of spun around with the kick and all, and then just went right into the hoverboard. Oh, it was great.
So good. The last three matches on this show, I mean, they weren't equal to what on Wrestle Kingdom, but this was still, again, they did a great job of having three matches that bookend the show really well with the tag title match. I mean, I don't know what's been going on. Maybe they just want to show everybody that they're great before they leave, but man, what happened here? Like Anderson and Gallows are like on another level these since Wrestle Kingdom. Just
like Anderson put down a beer bottle and got in shape, and they're inspired on the way out. It's like, especially for Anderson, because he's been there for, oh gosh,
like 8 years.
He's been there a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. So I think it was kind of special to him. Just his way of saying thank you and repaying New Japan, saying on the way out. But during this match, I was saying to myself, Makabe must love this team with Hanma, because Hanma just worked the whole match getting his butt kicked, and then Makabe comes in and just, does his spots, it's like, it's the greatest job in the world he has right now.
Exactly.
And his matches will always be great because of Hanma, I mean, so. This was a great match, it really was.
Yeah, it really. I mean, they
Gallows is involved in a great match. It's great. So
yeah, I mean, and Gallows did his part too. I mean, he came in and they had some nice near falls in here too. With the TKO gun stun, and then they do the. It looked like they're gonna do the Kokeshi Doomsday, and Gallows comes in and kicks Hanma in the face, and they get in and do. They did some. Oh, he does the Liger bomb and freaking almost pins him, and something else. It was just really great stuff.
You know what it was like. You go into the match and you're saying, "Well, it's a Goto situation almost." Like there's no way Anderson and Gallows are winning, but the match was so good and they worked it so good and they took you to the point where it's like, could they really win the titles here? Just switch it up, make it surprise people, but then nope, right back to the finish. It was really well done.
So, what do you think of?
I love how they did the Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll take it out. The finish was like Honda did the flying Kokeshi off the rope. Then Makabe did the knee drop, and then Honda went back up for the regular Kokeshi, So it's like they nailed him with three finishers basically, and then pinned him.
Yeah, kind of just putting him away finally. Like, just saying, okay, y'all are done.
It's cool, Anderson and Gallows got the little spot in the ring at the very end, just to bow to the crowd and walk off.
You think they'll do, well, it depends on whether it's still Bullet Club or not, but you think they'll kind of kick them out during the Ring of Honor shows, or no?
I was wondering if they were going to do that thing. I did not realize until today they were actually on the Ring of Honor show next weekend, but that will probably be the real send-off there. It'll be Cork and then a Tokyo crowd, and yeah, I could see Tonga and whoever Tonga's partner is going to be the new partner might come in and lay those guys out.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Certainly, yeah. Yeah, and we had Tonga challenge Makabe and Hama, and Makabe told him in English, anytime, anywhere. So looks like that's a thing. Glad to see Tonga stepping up and going somewhere.
That's what I mean, like maybe with the Bucks and Omega doing their thing, now the Tonga will get to be the focal point of this group, and maybe in time move up. Be a single guy.
I mean, everybody knows what happened in the last match, but it just like that's what I got out of this show is that it really felt like, hey, this show matches. The name of the show matches what New Japan's doing right now. It really feels like a new beginning for New Japan going into the New Japan Cup and beyond right now. Just so much. Either you're establishing who your guys are going to be, or you've got new champions and they're heading in a different direction.
And
it feels fresh now.
Yeah, and they're laying the groundwork, so to speak. Actually, we forgot the sixth man right before that, before the Kushida match, I think.
Oh yeah, we did. This was
with
really
the Goto
good
team.
too. Goto.
There was a ridiculously good near in this match with Chief Robinson on Okada. I mean, toward the end, he got a near fall on Okada. It was like Okada just got himself up, and the crowd but Chief almost got a real big near fall. Like, whoa. But I like this.
I mean,
because Goto's turning, but
that was what's weird about Juice is that he got a long deal with Okada there at the end, and like you said, he got that near fall, and you're kind of like, whoa, okay. And I mean, eventually got the Rainmaker on him, and they win. But I love the story thing here with Goto too. Like you can tell he's almost crying walking up the ramp. He's feeling it from Thursday 0-8 now, going for the title. Okada's messing with him. Ishii's messing with him. Even Yoshihashi's even freaking messing with him. He's like in a funk.
Yeah, he's in a funk and he's confident. He's wrestling his confidence is shot, and it's just like he's depressed almost.
And then Shibata freaking kicks him because he's like, "Look, I'm tired of this. Wake up, man."
Yeah, it's like, come on. I wonder if Shibata will actually move up the card now.
He should.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for now it'll probably. I'm wondering if maybe he would be the guy to win the New Japan Cup, and then you'll have two Okada title defenses, in April and May. So I'm thinking one of them could be Shibata, something different. Hasn't been done yet.
It would be interesting. I like the idea because, people have thought Shibata should win that thing for years now. And this is the first year where you really feel like they're going somewhere with him. So it would make a lot of sense. Hopefully they do that. I mean, do you think this thing with Goto is going to be like a whole year story, kind of like with Okada, where they just go with this for a while, or does he join Chaos with Okada and kind of go there? And
I think he joins sooner rather than later, and then eventually feud with Shibata and get that Shibata Goto. Remember they had those great matches, I think, in 2014, I think.
Yeah.
Or 13, one of those years.
Those would be awesome. I mean, there's even been people. I think he could work if you have him join the Los Ingobernables too, but I don't know. I think being there in Okada's shadow, all that kind of stuff. That just you have so many stories you can tell there. Eventually, whenever you get Goto out of Chaos, because he's not going to stay there very long, like past this year, I'd imagine.
He needs something. I mean, the guy is really good, but he was wrestling like the way the fans actually feel about him. I think now it's like, okay, whatever.
Right, yeah. And that's the thing too. Like he came out with that like Hakushi paint and all that stuff, and then he kind of just he wrestled the same old Goto. You know, it wasn't anything special.
Yeah, now if he joined up with Naito, the paint and everything would actually be a good idea.
Yeah, it would go in with Evil and all that, and I guess him and Evil could even be a tag team if they wanted to, even though they sort of wrestle the same at times.
They look like brothers, actually.
Yeah, really.
I mean, certainly, how close they do, because I remember when I got pictures with them in Philly when they were here in August, they were sitting at the same table, and I was like, Jesus Christ, they look like brothers. They're two tanks with beards and, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That would be, why not just pass off as twins? Getting to this last, oh my god, the main event here. Oh, just, like, Omega is so freaking good, and then you put him in there with Tanahashi, who's also great, and they just had one hell of a match. Just Omega just tearing into that shoulder, and I love the fact that he goes and tells Yujiro and Cody Hall, the smart marks aren't going to like me if you guys interfere, so go away. And it's just like...
Because you know what it was? They knew, like, okay, everybody's tired of the Bullet Club interference in the main event title matches, so we'll send them away, you know, low ball later on.
Yeah, the Bucks just laying there under the ring.
Like, when did they get there? When did they go down and get under the ring? Is there some way to get there from... How did they do that? I'm thinking the lights were out during one of the ring entrances and they just snuck in there.
Probably. You know, and they're small enough people may not see them, you know.
This match, it took me on a roller coaster, literally, because, you know, I hate the freaking overuse of the interference, and they keep doing it and doing it and doing it. But this match was so good toward the end. Oh, my God. Like, toward the end, I was like, Tanahashi is just so, you know, I love Tanahashi. That guy is just so good. I'm swearing he's going to win. He's going to overcome all the interference and win. I'm saying to myself, they're just going to kill Omega right here. Because he has all this interference and he's still going to lose. Because toward the end, I really thought Tanahashi was going to win.
Yeah, I mean
that's how good it was.
Oh, but just some of the kickouts here. I mean, like, I don't think I have ever seen a kickout the way Tanahashi did off the... Was it... off the Styles Clash? He literally kicked out...
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He literally kicked out with, like, a finger touching the mat on 3.
He did that once before, I remember, and it was last year at G1 in a match against Doc Gallows, where Gallows almost slipped off the rope and was just messing up the match, but Tanahashi held it together, and he did a near fall in that match. And my buddy Rob and I were sitting here, and we looked at each other like, God, we would have hit the ceiling if Gallows would have won, but that near fall was so close, we were ready. And that's the way this one was today.
And then he did another one with the two Beaumoyers that
well, that's what was great about this match also. Is, you know, they were paying homage to Nakamura and Styles throughout the match. You know, at the beginning he had Omega in the corner there, and he did a little foot thing with the shake, and then he was gonna put him on the rope and come with the knee, but Omega moved. They did so many, like, those guys are gone. They went to the competition, so to speak, but they were paying homage to them. That was awesome.
Yeah, and it's just like, again, Tanahashi freaking, all he does is he just rolls over, and it's like, oh my god, he almost got pinned again. Like, jeez.
Yeah.
Like, people say things about John Cena. I don't think John Cena could have done that. That was amazing. I loved Mike Elgin coming in to take out the Bucks eventually. That was good, because then it allowed Omega to win by himself.
Yeah, but even earlier in the match, that suplex spot outside over the guardrail into the seats that Tanahashi took, he landed sideways. I was like, he will do anything to make a main event great. That guy just, I don't care if he's only 2% healthy, he's still better than just about everybody.
It's just, he did not need to take that, but he does it anyway. Just insane. I mean, this went so far making Omega, I think, just, I don't know how you can't buy him as a main event guy now. Just, I
mean, that's the question I had going. I'm like, all right, well, here you go, Cal Omega. This is your chance. All right, well, you hit a home run today, period. No question of that. You hit a home run. Now he has to run with it. But,
and, of course, Omega singing Katy Perry there at the end. Just...
Yeah. He was great. I mean, we're talking about Tanahashi doing great stuff, but he was great, selling the knee, cracking up when the Bucks were using the cold spray on his damn. Like, he got long pants on. He ain't going to feel that,
Yeah.
But he took the reverse Frankensteiner off the One Ring Angel from Tanahashi. And even Red Shoes took a big hit with that trash can.
Oh, God, yeah, Red Shoes.
Jesus Christ, that looked like it hurt. Yeah.
I mean, this was one
I don't
of those,
know if he knew it was coming or not, but man, that thing nailed him. I was like, oh, that hurt.
This poor Red Shoes. I mean, just the sum of everything here was just great. I think definitely this was one hell of a show. There was nothing bad on here. I mean, everything was enjoyable. And, I mean, it went
that's
like...
That's what it was. The first half, was just, it was almost like it was designed, the first half. Just go out there, just have some fun matches, and then when we get back from intermission, what would really take off. That's how the show was.
Yeah, because, I mean, sometimes they kind of have these, like, blah... first halves, and then they kind of kill it with the second half. And the first half was still fun. It was worth watching. It was and then here you go with the last 3 or 4 matches. You're like, oh damn, this is why I watched this right here.
Well, that's the thing with New Japan. I don't know if people realize or not, but they're way more old school philosophy than anybody else, because you always hear like the old veterans talk. I mean, Ted DiBiase would tell me and my friends this, like, and even William Regal, you're not supposed to steal the spotlight. Every match the next match is supposed to be more important than the last match. So, the opener shouldn't be better than the second match. The second match shouldn't be better than the third match, so on and so on. And you have to build the show. So if you blow the crowd out in the first 2 matches, what does the main event have,
Right, yeah.
And
you have to keep topping it.
So when everybody says, New Japan is very by the books, but this show was designed to make Kenny Omega a superstar, and at least for the day they did.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to keep delivering. That there's no doubt about that. He's too good.
He's motivated.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take a bigger spot than he's already taken, and I mean, you're taking Nakamura's title that he made, winning it on your first opportunity. You're taking AJ's spot that he had. I mean, you're filling some big shoes, but you keep doing it that way, you're gonna fit right in.
And you
where.
remember,
Go ahead.
he was doing those interviews last year where he kept saying, he wanted to be a heavyweight. He wanted to be a heavyweight. He wanted to wrestle the big guys. He wanted to
Mhm.
be in the main events. And, some people are like, I don't know.
Yeah,
You
it's,
just
yeah.
never know. And opportunity falls in your lap, and he's ready for it.
Now I can't wait for Ibushi to come back and they have that feud. Because that's
That's
gonna be
weird because they
great.
were just showing they were just showing the Ibushi stuff on Access against Styles and New Japan Cup. So it's like, oh my God, when's he coming back?
It's just you just gotta. It's ready made there for you between those two with all the history and everything. So he that's just
Yeah,
perfect for
that
whenever
should
he
be great.
comes. You think they're gonna stay with Tanahashi and Omega for a while, or are they moving him to somebody?
I would rather see them move into somebody right now and do what they did last year with Tanahashi. Just put them back in tags until you need them. Last year with the G1, Omega beat him, so you really don't need to beat Tanahashi again. So just put him in tags and
Hey, he needs to
move the next
rest,
guy
poor
in there.
guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like save him. You don't know how many bumps you have on your bump card. Let's try to preserve them.
Oh, he needs to get that shoulder, whatever
Could
he
be a
needs to
spot
do with
to
that.
come in.
Yeah.
I know.
So where does this show rate for you? I think I would say it's the right there, right under Wrestle Kingdom so far with all the shows that they've had. I know those Fantastic Mania shows were fun and everything, but I think
I
this
don't
one
really
definitely
like.
delivered.
Yeah, I don't rate. Yeah, I don't put the Fantastica Mania shows in that category because they're just designed to be something totally different. But this show today would definitely, Wrestle Kingdom. Wrestle Kingdom's just gonna win everything. So now it's just like 1A, 1B, 1C.
Right.
No, this show was definitely really good. I just, like you said, the second half of this show it went off the charts. And it was great because the Kushida match was great. The tag title match delivered beyond expectations, and then Tanahashi and Omega just came out to blow the roof off the place.
Oh yeah, they just. I mean, it all worked. It all fell into place for just how great the show was, and I think what the Osaka show lacked, this one definitely brought it, and I think together they were just some really great cards. Everything New Japan's done so far this year that we've gotten to see has been enjoyable, from good to great. I mean, so far they're killing it
Yeah,
in ring.
you just won't. That's the thing about New Japan. We have a standard now. It's because they've delivered so many great shows over the past few years. They're a standard now. It's like, and when they deliver a subpar show for them, it's still a good show. Just, I think Thursday in Osaka wasn't really designed to blow anybody away. I mean, outside of that never title match, 6-man match, I mean, everything on Osaka was good, at
Right.
least. So it's not like it was a bad show. You had the great match with Shibata and Ishii. And the difference was, in the main event, Okada and Goto didn't connect with the crowd, whereas Tanahashi and Omega did. So it just made it seem way more important, which in actuality it was way more important because I had to get that guy ready, established.
Yeah, and they, for the most part, I mean, they were worried about how apparently the Osaka show wasn't selling, and it wound up selling pretty well by the tail end. So, I mean, the crowd was into everything else. They just weren't into the main event because, And to their credit, I don't think New Japan. It was Geto's fault or the booking's fault. I mean, they gave Goto every opportunity to come in and attack Okada and all that kind of stuff. It's just the history for
There's
him.
nothing more they could have done. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing. This is it. I mean, he may well be Yoshihashi now. I mean, I hate to say it, but he's just not going to be a main eventer.
I don't
If
know.
anything, I would
think
send him to Noah.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad idea, but I think he has a chance, like Naito, if you do something with him, if you turn him in a different direction, and maybe you have him join Chaos, and he's kind of just there for a little bit, and he starts kind of turning it around and really showing.
And maybe the body paint was a start of something. You never know. Maybe it was just an idea that they're throwing out there right now, and then they're going to come back to it later.
That wouldn't be bad. I mean, he needs something, like you said. He needs something.
He needs something, yeah.
So, speaking of, they already came out with these Honor Rising cards for the 19th and 20th, which is Friday and Saturday of this week. Now that we're into Monday, technically, you've got you got? Kazarian against Kushida. On the first night, you've got some 6-man tags here. The Briscoes against Gauss and Anderson. You've got Lethal and Naito against Yoshihashi and Okada. That should be interesting. And Roderick Strong against Ishii is your main event.
Oh my God! When I read that, I said, "Oh my God, that can't." And in Corkin Hall, that can't be anything but great.
Oh, I think Roderick Strong, if he puts in a good spot right there, you could finally see him in that G1. What everybody wanted last year, you might get it.
Yeah, there was some really. I'm just looking at it now. The Briscoes and Yano against Omega and the Bucks. Oh, and Lethal and Hanma will be good, if not great.
I'm surprised they're not doing like Dalton Castle against Yano or something like that. I know they're not. Maybe that's something they want to save for later. But
I would have thought they would have at least done Dalton Castle against Yujiro. Have the boys and Yujiro have the strippers and
yeah, that would be interesting.
All kind of possibilities there. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
And Saturday show, you get another Finlay versus White match too.
Yeah, can't ever complain about those. You get Gallus Anderson's farewell is interesting. That Tama Tonga is going to be tagging with them, so you might get the beat down there. Who knows? But you do get Goto and Shibata and Fish and O'Reilly, so I'm interested to see how that goes. Kushida and Moose against Naito and Bushi. That should be pretty good.
Yeah.
You get, and then of course, Jay Lethal against Hanma, and for the ROH World Title. I mean, you could say Lethal's fighting a guy that hasn't racked up a ton of wins or whatever, but still pretty great as far as the combination you can get with Lethal having Truth Martini there and doing the against all the odds against Hanma. I think that's kind of tailor made for him.
And it is Corkin Hall and it is Hanma, so that's always magic.
Yeah, for sure.
How about looking at the Friday show, and you got Shibata and Red Dragon against the Bucks and Omega. Oh,
that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And maybe a little preview of
right?
A little preview of an IC title match there or something.
Yep. Yeah, this looks like could be a couple of fun shows.
Yeah, and then some of them are gonna come down for the anniversary show I think it's like on the 26th or something. So Then
Yeah,
you've
the following
got
Friday.
that Lionsgate, the first Lionsgate show on the 25th. So, man, this is a stacked month for New Japan, certainly. And doesn't the New Japan Cup start like a week after that anniversary show for ROH too?
I was going to say the first week in March, I believe, so.
Man, they're not going to be stopping anytime soon.
I'll tell you, we're 6 weeks into the year. This has been one heck of a year for wrestling so far. Just, in the ring and out of the ring, but
Yeah,
it's been fun.
I can't wait to see what we're going to get for, the rest of the year. And then you throw in some of the other Puro stuff, and it's crazy. Even Dragon Gate had some crazy stuff. So, just should be interesting. Even like Noah. I don't know. A lot of people are. You think Suzuki Gun's getting a bit too big for its britches at this point? They just keep adding people.
I think it's getting overdone. Unless they're going to start moving guys over to New Japan. That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, it's overdone.
Yeah, because it's just you're getting way too many people in there, and the shows are starting to show some life or whatever. But if you start having Suzuki Gun own all the titles again, you're kind of gonna just go back down.
Yeah, but then if you have too many guys keep joining, like every big show, a new guy, not like every, but it seems like every big show now, a new guy is joining.
Right.
How often you go to the well before people just start saying, all right, whatever,
Yeah, exactly. So Tanahashi on his podcast was talking about that he thinks that there's a lot there with the juniors and that they should do more with them. I kind of feel like Geto's getting to that point.
Yeah. I gotta believe that Tanahashi's saying that for a reason. Planting the seeds, Or why would he just say that? I don't know what the question was where he started talking about that, but, I'm sure he had some kind of input, so maybe he knows, and that's why he's like planting the seeds, maybe, to do what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, because they do have guys coming. They got Will Ospreay, who they signed, and who that's gonna add something there. Bushi's been better. You got Ricochet, you got Seidel. They can always put O'Reilly in there if they want to.
And now you got to actually think about people like Dragon Lee and Kamitachi, because they got over big time at Fantastica Mania. So that junior tournament this year could be something.
Oh, that could be a fantastic junior tournament.
It could be G1 level if they really put their mind to it.
Yeah, exactly. If he puts his mind to it and you got all that talent there, could be fantastic stuff. Well, I think we kind of covered everything. Thank you, Tom, for being on with me here.
Got it.
We're gonna be doing those ROH New Japan shows at the end of the Fastlane review on Sunday. Are you gonna be around?
Hopefully I can watch the Saturday show before then, so I should be able to, but just drop me a message and make sure,
Alrighty.
Fastlane could actually be kind of interesting itself too, so.
Yeah, especially what comes out of that. So, yeah, of course, you can check out our previous show that we did on Thursday, talk about Daniel Bryan retiring and the Titus O'Neil stuff and all that. And then next week this coming Thursday, we'll be previewing those Honor Rising shows and talking whatever else has been going on in wrestling, doing a preview of Fastlane and all that. So Make sure you keep it here. Of course, rate, review, subscribe. Go subscribe to that W2M network for all the other shows that we have. And we'll be back here doing Rest of the Max on Thursday with episode 183. See you guys later.